What's going on, guys? My name is Ari and welcome back to the channel. Now I know what you're thinking. Is it really possible that Ariana is actually vlogging again and she's not just orating into her camera screen using a bootlegged attempt at a microphone? Yeah, well, in reality, I've had a lot going on the last few weeks with my healing. I've been going through a very immersive spiritual awakening of sorts. Lots of things are changing in my life from an emotional and I think neuropsychological standpoint as well. And honestly, it just hasn't felt right to document any of it, and it still doesn't. But I still wanted to share one important lesson that I wish I learned a long time ago when it comes to healing from trauma, and that is you've got to be willing to hurt again. All right, so I want you to imagine a situation where there's two boxers in the ring, right? There's me, the person who's been traumatized and abused, and there's the abuser, there's the other opponent in the ring. I'm getting beat down, right? I'm just getting absolutely pummeled. I'm curled up against the ropes of that ring, and what am I gonna do in that kind of a situation or any other type of physical altercation? I'm gonna protect my head, my neck, my heart by curling inward, by wrapping myself, by trying desperately to protect myself and get myself in the safest position possible to withstand the blows. This is an example about what happens when we're in an actual fight, but this is exactly what happens in your brain in an emotional sense when you are being traumatized. You see, your brain learns to hide. It learns to protect the most vulnerable parts of itself by encouraging you to go inward, by getting all of the feeling outside of the areas where it doesn't need to be, because it's trying to keep you safe. It's trying to keep you safe by hiding. So what happens? Well, eventually, one day, your abuser leaves. You exit your trauma loop. You're no longer being punched and beaten up in the corner of that boxing ring anymore. But here's the thing. The body keeps the score. It doesn't forget the trauma that it's experienced. So that opponent can walk wide away right out of that ring, and you wouldn't have any idea, because your body is going to internalize the fear that at any moment that opponent can turn around and pummel you back in the face, or maybe they're still there just waiting for you, or maybe you actively still feel like you're experiencing the physical sensation of those punches when there's no one there. And so the paradox of healing is that you need to be willing to stand when every part of your body and your brain are telling you that if you move 1 inch, if you open yourself even in the slightest degree, that you're going to be hurt again. You need to be willing to stand either by listening to the intuition of your true self and your soul, or by getting the guidance of a professional healer like a therapist or a psychologist who can show you the way to stand and remind you that you are okay and that you are safe, even though your brain and your body are trying to tell you otherwise. You see, because it is only in your willingness to stand, your willingness to rise up and deal with the chance that there will be another punch. Deal with the chance that, yeah, you are opening yourself up, and in that kind of vulnerable state, you can be hurt again. It is only by being willing to take that chance. Can you open yourself up? Can you get back on your own 2 feet and walk to that other side of the ring, that you can realize that the opponent is no longer there and you've been fighting air for a really, really long time. And that's not to say that you'll never get punched again. That's not to say that in that whole process of opening and becoming vulnerable, that you're never gonna get hurt again, that you're never gonna get sideswiped again, that you're never gonna get triggered again. No way. I get triggered all the time, but it's those punches that matter, and those punches are a lot different than the ones that you felt when you were being abused, because it's what's on the other side of those types of punches that makes all the difference. Healing from trauma means being willing to confront the things that wait for us in the dark. It means being willing to deal with the chance that in the process of opening ourselves to all the wonderful realities of the world that awaits for us on the other side of healing, that yeah, there is a chance, and maybe a likely chance, that we will get sideswiped by a punch, that we will be triggered in the process. Healing is not clean and simple work. It is extraordinarily messy, but that doesn't mean that it's not worth pursuing. It's in doing that work that you realize that the mark of healing isn't being broken by an accidental punch or the occasional trigger. No, healing is about learning how to utilize those punches and those triggers not to break down, but to break open. To learn how to hold space for your heart, compassion for the time that it's gonna take you to figure out yourself and recondition and rewire your brain to the beauties and the wonders of living. And living in a way that you're not gonna be triggered 24/7, but that requires you to be open. So if there's anything that being traumatized has taught me, it's that I do have a wonderful bag of gifts that were given to me in exchange for all the painful things that I've experienced. And my ability to draw from them and learn from them and utilize them in a happier, more whole life and version of myself is predicated on me taking the chance, taking the risk, and realizing that I'm gonna be okay no matter what. That being said, guys, I'm gonna wrap up the video here. If you like the video, then please drop the video a like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you next week.